Good day, class. In this module, I'm going to walk you through performing the calculations using Excel for week 2, learning activity 4, the time value of money. Now, for these particular exercises, these are going to be highly simplified because we're going to take advantage of Excel's formulas. Here we have future values, present values, future value of an annuity, the present value of an annuity, and the present value of a mixed streams of cash. Now keep in mind that like I've done in the previous modules, I have changed the numbers, but the concepts and the principles apply the same to the actual problems. I'm just going to walk you through to show you how these calculations are performed with the functions the finance functions that Excel has built into the program. So I'm going to walk you through each one of these and just watch carefully. Here we're going to figure out the future values of these single cash flows. Here we have the cash flows on this side here. We have the interest rates and the periods. So to find out, to insert the formulas, what you could do is go to the FX here, right there below your toolbar, click on that. Okay, it's going to bring up a dialog box. Here I have, it's a finance, so you could click finance. It'll bring up all the financial functions in Excel. Since we're working with future values, you need to look for future value FV. So we'll click on that, open it, and it opens this dialog box. So here, what we're wanting to do is enter these interest rates and cash flows into the appropriate box here in this dialog box that'll do the computations. Well, the interest rate, you have rate stands for interest rate. For the first one is 5%. So you click on the cell and it populates it. Next, you go to number of periods, enter your cursor in there, make sure that it takes it here. Then once you've done that, then you come to the number of periods. You see here deposit period years. You click on that cell and that populates it. Now we're not going to do anything with the payment because this isn't a payment. Now we'll use this in the annuity, and I'll show you how to do that when we get to the annuity figure. Now we have to put in the present value because we know we're trying to figure out future value. So we know what the present value is for each one of these cash flows. So the present value is going to be the 250 for this particular cash flow, 250. Now we need to make that a negative because it's cash flow or else going out. So you have to make it a negative or else it'll return a negative number. And as you can see here, the $663 is the actual value. You click OK and it automatically populates that cell for you. Now you see the future value of that $250 with an interest rate of 5% for 20 periods is $663.32. Now, what I'm going to show you is a shortcut. Rather than input each one of these future values for each of these cash flows into each one of the cells, what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of Excel's referencing process, or it's cell referencing. So what you do is you click on that cell with the $663, bring your cursor to the lower right hand corner of that cell where you see the plus sign. You can click on your mouse and drag it all the way down and then let it go, and through cell referencing it automatically performs those calculations for you. Okay, see how simple that was? Now we're going to do the same thing with present values. We're going to click on FX to bring up the dialog box. We are in financial. We're looking for present value, so we need to look for PV. So we scroll down, PV, present value. So here we go. There's the PV. It'll open up that dialog box. Once again, we want to put in the rate for the first single cash flow, the 250. The rate is 5%. You click on that cell. Number of periods, 20. Now we know the future value. We know the future value. We're trying to determine the present value of 250. So we knew the future value is 250. So we're going to click on future value and then click on 250. Make that a negative so that we don't have a negative number there. So that's 94. Same thing, drag it down, and there you have it. Okay, now for an annuity, we're going to apply the same process, except we're going to input a little bit different numbers. Once again, we're figuring out the future value, so we're going to go open that up. That dialog box will come open. So we're looking for future value. Okay, so we need to get rid of those numbers there. All right, so we need to know the rate. The rate for the first one is 8%. So we populate that. It populates that. Number of periods, we got 10 periods. Now, since this is an annuity, we treat this as a payment. So the annuity is a fixed stream of income through a given point of period, like monthly, yearly. The values of that stream of income doesn't change. It remains fixed, which makes it an annuity. Well, we know that payment is 250. Okay, so we click on that. Make sure that it's a negative, because or else we're going to get a negative value. Click on OK, and there you have the future value of an annuity for $25,000 for 10 years is $36,000. Once again, using cell referencing, you drag it. Let me open it up because that's a large number, and there you have it there. And we'll do the same thing for present value. Once again, we begin with the rate. Number of periods, 3. The payment is going to be the $15,000. Put a negative. Click on it. Okay, so that's the $15,000 for 3 years. The present value of that is $39,364. So that's the present value of that annuity. We self-reference, drag it, and there you have it. You have the numbers. Now, when we get to the present value of mixed streams, we can't use the self-referencing and dragging it, because these are not annuities and they're different streams of income. They're mixed. You have to do each one of these individually. Okay, but it's the same formulas that you used up here for the future value and the present value. Here we're determining present value of mixed streams. So which formula are we going to use? That's right, the present value formula. So we're going to open it up. Present value. It'll populate. The rate is 12%. You see the 12% right here in the bottom? 12% is the rate, so I'm going to type in 0.12. Number of period, 1. And the future value project is 60,000, so that's going to be my 60,000. I'll make sure that I put the negative in front of that cell. So the present value of that 60,000, a year from now, today, is 53,000. Now we can't drag this. We can't use the cell referencing because these are individual. So you'll have to do each one individually, and I'll just do a couple more for you, and then you could follow through with the rest of them. And what you do with project 1, as I'm showing you here, you're going to do the same thing with project 2. So once again, the rate is 0.12. This time the period is 2, so you click on that. Future value is 50,000. Be sure to always put the negative in front of it. Okay, and there you go. And you do it like this for each one of these for project 1, and we can label this project 1, and then we can make another one here, project 2, and we can fill in the numbers likewise. And let me just do one more, and this time we're going to use project 2. Again, we're working with present value. Interest rate, again, is 12. As you see, that's the rate. Number of periods was 1. The future value is 10,000 with the negative in front of it. Click OK. And there you have it. So you just follow those same steps individually, one by one, for the present value of the mixed streams. And the reason for that is because they're not an annuity. They're not a constant flow of income coming in, or what is in finance what's referred as cash flow. So it's not a positive cash flow coming in that consistent through the same period, month end, week end, the same fixed amount of money. These are different. One month it may be 60, another month it may be 20,000, maybe 50,000 another month. So for each one you have to calculate in a mixed stream calculation, and with time value money you have to calculate those individually. Okay, so I hope this helps. As you can see, using the power of Excel and the functions that's built into it, it simplifies your work and your calculations. If you have any questions after reviewing this, please send me an email. Bye-bye.